Welcome everybody to the next episode of Hooligan Radio. We're vibing the second episode of the stream. If you're listening on our podcast platforms, you can catch us on Twitch at twitch.tv/hooligan radio. I'm joined by my co-host Josh. Josh, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Really excited for these topics on this episode. It's going to be a good time.
I'm also joined by my other co-host Zach. Zach, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing great today.
And then last but not least, we've got our guest, Maddy. Maddy, how are you doing today?
I'm still catching up on sleep from my concerts this week. So
I was
going
to say, how many concerts did you go to this week? Was it 2?
It was just Trinity of Terror, but it was 2 hours away in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And
That'll
I
do
didn't
it.
get home until about 3 a.m. So
Yeah, that'll do
it was
it.
worth it. It's definitely worth it.
I completely get that. So on this episode, we'll be talking about E3 and its questionable state moving forward. We will be doing a new game brought to us by Zach instead of top 3, which, we'll see how it goes. I'm excited. And then we will be doing one of the most reoccurring main topics, but also I think the most beneficial for me to say, yeah, I'm going to see that, and then I never do. We're doing the summer movie preview. I know it's been well received in the past, so I know that this one will always be well received. I love hearing about the movies and then always forgetting to go see them. So with no further ado, I'll introduce us into the episode. So E3 is the gaming conference. Well, it was the pinnacle of gaming conferences. This was as we were growing up. I mean, I remember hanging out with Zach and Josh and talking about E3 or watching E3 or basically anything. Anything we ever really wanted to know about gaming was kind of released in this week in June. I think it's in June or early July, sometime in there. And they canceled this year's E3. They've been struggling in the past. I've been one to always update on it, but they will not be hosting the conference in person or virtually this year, which for the last few years in the pandemic, they hosted stuff virtually that necessarily didn't go great. And so this year they're fully canceled. I don't know. Have any of you guys ever been to like an actual conference or anything like that? We could start with any of you who might have.
No, I am not.
Zach, you muted yourself to say no, but
there we go. We're back. No.
I've never attended. I attended one virtual conference, and then I attended a work conference last year, and I understand why they were canceled for the pandemic. But E3 being canceled this year, I didn't necessarily see a lot of reasoning, but I did see a lot of the big names in the space being like, this might be it for E3. We might not ever see it come back again. For those of you who don't know, most of the big players in the space, Sony, Xbox, all that kind of stuff, have kind of gone to their own conferences where they are kind of in charge of how much time they get and their setups and all that kind of stuff. They're not necessarily limited by conference organizers and stuff like that. And they were doing their conferences in the same town as E3. So like E3 would be happening at the convention center, and then Xbox would rent out a venue maybe a few blocks away and do their conferences there in tandem while people were all in town for the conference. So I don't necessarily know how that's going to impact, the Xbox or PlayStation presentations, or if they will even all be on the same weekend anymore. I haven't really got any details on stuff like that, but it's interesting because I think that conferences are good. I think that a lot of people get a lot of good thing out of conferences. And I think that E3 had run its course pretty much going into the pandemic. It was already on its dying breath, and E3 might be just another casualty that, COVID takes from us. But are you guys, I know that generally I'm the one who just watches all of E3 and then tells you guys what happens on this podcast, but Are you guys sad to see it go for nostalgia purposes, or do you have any opinions on if conferences should just stay virtual so they can get as many attendees as possible?
I think it's hard for them not to really do that virtual route, especially with
Agree.
the last few years. Because what they really wants those numbers, and that's what's going to get you the most numbers, especially eyes on your event, is having that virtual environment, especially if you can fully put all of your resources to that. So I'm not too shocked to see that E3 is canceled. I'm actually a little bit with it being canceled and possibly knowing that it's going to be virtual from here on out. I'm curious to see what that means going forward. Like, is all of the major companies going to do something on their own? Are we
Mm.
going to have this large event to where it still might be a week, but everyone's doing their own thing for each day, something like that? I'm actually a little bit excited to see what this might entail from the canceling.
Yeah. I think one of the things, at least my brain just came up with it, is like conferences are good for smaller companies and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
too, because like the big draw, it's kind of like, old school malls, right? The big draw was like, oh, I'm going to Sears, right? Or JC Penney, but I'm also going to walk through the mall and end up getting, something from the food court or stopping by some of the smaller shops. I think that that's kind of what the conference environment really brought for them, right? So at E3, like I might be going to watch the PlayStation conference, but end up stopping by and either meeting a new developer or something like Mad Cats, or seeing some sort of new tech kind of displayed there. So I think that that is kind of rough if you think about other conferences, right? Like if you were thinking about uh what's the CNET or whatever the tech conference is, where like there's startups and stuff that are
Yeah.
trying to get off of the ground by being there where other technology is released. I think that's gonna suck for the games industry, like the small guy being edged out of the platform there. Because I know that,
Definitely.
yeah, it's gonna be tough because like small studios, I mean, you could imagine this probably exists in all facets. Like if a big like Sundance or something like that was just like gone, like some of these smaller studios were not going to get their 15 minutes of fame to try to get their scripts bought up or something like that. So that's going to
Yeah.
suck. It's probably going to be a big hit. I
Right.
didn't even realize that like until right now, what Zach was talking was being like, oh yeah, some of my favorite studios I only learned about because they were coupled with the big
Because they were
guys
there.
at E3.
Yep.
Yeah, like so that's gonna be real tough.
Hopefully they
Um,
can work something out like for the big companies because it makes sense for the Sonys and stuff like that. They're gonna do their own conferences. Nintendo. Hopefully they can partner up with these smaller ones to be like, oh, you can have your own little part here in the conference. For games you're gonna be releasing for our systems. And obviously they would get a cut of that. I just hope no matter what happens that there is still a live element because I have no interest like in a virtual like I'm just gonna see it on Twitter like 2 minutes after it happens. So it's like why am I gonna pay to
yeah,
watch something on a website that I can just see in a few minutes? But the in-person thing I think does really add a value, whether it's video games or
Does.
a Comic-Con or whatever. I think it really does add it, the value. So hopefully they still stay in that progression, even if it ends up being more broken up instead of just one E3. And who knows, maybe in an ideal scenario, the more broken up ones will be better because then you don't have to pay as much to go to one E3. You can choose whichever one you want to go to. It might be a little
Mm-hmm.
bit cheaper, but I mean, that's thinking optimistically. It's going to be hard for the smaller studios for sure.
yeah, it
I
would
just think
be.
there's just so much like benefits just doing stuff in person anyway that you just don't get online. Like I know you said like the ratings were down throughout the pandemic, which I find surprising, but like even watching like virtual shows, like virtual
Mm,
concerts throughout the
yeah,
pandemic, like I don't know, it just wasn't fully satisfying.
I get
It
that.
was like cool. I get to see people like I wanted to see, and I get to see like some cool new bands and stuff. But like,
The
it wasn't the
energy was not
same
there.
fulfilling
Mhm.
Yeah.
experience. Like, cool, I'm just still on my couch, not wearing pants.
Yeah,
It's not
Mhm.
as fulfilling to me.
yeah, I completely
Yeah.
agree because you like when you were watching things. At least when I was watching things on E3, the crowd reaction to whenever something like unannounced kind of dropped, right, would be
Hmm.
like,
Oh yeah.
oh my god, or
Exactly.
you hear that one guy like, holy shit, I fucking love
Yeah.
that, right? Like you don't get
Yeah.
that with virtual stuff. And like Maddie was saying, with virtual concerts, even you don't get like the energy of the crowd is not
No.
felt by the performer, it's not felt by the people consuming it. So hopefully, if we actually, clear out of the pandemic in the coming years, we can get something in place of E3. Maybe like, how they do PAX, PAX East and PAX West. Maybe they'll do something like not necessarily E3, but like E3 East and West or something like that. So more people can kind of attend, and it's generally cheaper that way. But in the games industry, it's going to be interesting because like right now, the biggest marketing place forward is the Game Awards. But last year, the Game Awards, like it came out, I think a report came out that was like 60% of the Game Awards, 60 to 70% of the Game Awards was advertising, and the other 30% was actually the Game Awards or something like that. So
Yeah.
I believe it.
I don't know how much more advertising they can fit into that before it's just like, hey, I watched 2 hours worth of commercials. It was sick.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, Siri decided she wanted to pop in. But yeah, for sure. Yeah, I just wanted to bring up that E3's canceled this year, and I don't necessarily know if it's coming back or if we're going to get something new in its place, which is sad. But
it's sad.
Zach, I'm excited for your new game, and I'm excited to have you display your sheer creativity that you came up with this since. What, do you wake up at like 7 this morning, and in 5 hours you're ready to go?
When did you tell me that my other idea was already done?
It's like 11 a.m.
Yeah, so then. So this is what we're doing today. We're going to be doing a lightning round instead of the traditional top three. I'm not going to participate since I came up with the questions and will be doing them. But essentially, I'll say a question. We'll do a practice round here, and we'll start with Isaiah. And then we'll go Josh, Maddy. And then from then on, go Josh, Maddy, Isaiah, so on and so forth. So sort of like top three. I'll always say who's starting the round. And then essentially, you just answer the question. You want to go as fast as you can with it. And then whoever gives me the best answer gets the point. And then whoever has the most points at the end wins.
Okay, so everybody's going to be answering the questions.
Correct.
Okay.
So like for our practice round here, we'll be like, Isaiah, you're going to start going down. I don't know if everyone's in the same order of my Discord. That's the issue.
It's fine.
So it's going to go Isaiah, Josh, Maddy. So we'll practice. Will be like, Isaiah, what's your favorite color?
Purple. Josh.
So you're just gonna tell us beforehand the order, and then we have to go. Okay. You said purple. Blue.
You're muted.
I'm muted?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay.
Maddy, are you muted? Maybe. I didn't hear your answer when you spoke.
No, I wasn't muted.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there we go. Now I heard
you. Is it working now? I said black.
Okay.
True.
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
Okay, so then how are we going to decide who's got the best answer, Zach, for the point?
I'm gonna vote.
Oh, Zach gets to choose. Zach gets to choose. Okay.
That's why I said blue.
Okay.
It would have been green, but no one said it, so no one gets that point to start.
So this is like, this is like the old school dating game where we're kind of sitting behind the thing and you're asking us questions and you're like, Bachelor number 1, what is your favorite color? And I'm like, I really like green.
Sort of. But it's more like scenarios or quick things that you should be able to get.
Okay. I'm into it.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we'll start with Isaiah. We'll go Isaiah, Josh, Maddy. And then again, I'm going to change it so the person who goes first always isn't, because that's just not right.
Okay, so what we'll do is so whoever went first will go last, and then we'll just keep the order. Is that how it's going to work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that make sense to everybody?
And then you'll name the order before the question.
Yeah. Or if not, and you can just start, everyone can say their answer, and then as long as I hear it, we're good.
It's a lot of rules. I'm nervous, but okay.
I'm about to break every one of them.
My answer's gonna be blue for every question.
So Isaiah, Josh, Maddy, the order.
Okay.
All right. What weapon is going to be used to murder you?
Sledgehammer.
Bare hands.
Swimming pool, I'll drown.
Are bare hands bare knuckle hands or like bare hands?
BARE or BEAR?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's even better.
specify.
I'll go with the bear, the animal then.
The bear's gonna attack you?
Yeah.
Where do you live?
Yeah.
The bear is just gonna readily attack you at any moment.
Cleveland's got pretty big metro parks. I don't think there's any bears there.
I've never once seen a bear here.
Isaiah's taking the first round with the sledgehammer. The most practical answer there.
Yeah. They just take. I think Maddie pictured like when in The Sims when you put a sim in the pool and they take the ladder
I
out.
can't swim.
You
There
just
you
can't get
go.
out.
I can't swim,
Oh,
so I
there
just
you
kind of
go.
That is
stand
fair.
there.
All right, number 2. So Isaiah, Maddie. No, sorry,
I went
Josh, Maddie, Isaiah.
Cool.
All right. What movie would you go back and star in if you could?
Forrest Gump.
First Avengers movie.
The Social Network.
I think Josh is taking Forrest Gump.
Okay.
That's one I never thought of.
I just want to point out, Isaiah, we all know that you want to be Mark Zuckerberg, but you would definitely be Justin Timberlake, the creator of Napster.
True. Okay. All right, so Maddie goes first, then me, then Josh.
No.
All right. What song is played at your funeral?
Oh God, am I ever gonna die? Welcome to the Black Parade.
Fuck!
Ha!
Damn.
I pick Helena by My Chemical Romance as well.
You can't pick the same band as me. That's cheating.
You took my song.
I went first.
I'm gonna go with "Move Along" by the All American Rejects.
Classic.
Oh man. I am gonna give it to Maddie's for the Black Parade.
Oh, yeah.
That one was a good one.
Yeah, it's
Iconic.
really the only choice.
I should have picked Into the Ocean by Blue October, so Zach would have picked
Yeah,
it
yes,
earlier
he
in the
would've.
morning.
Or Happy Birthday.
Happy birthday. Oh no. All right, so now I'm first.
Yeah.
Original order, Isaiah, Josh, Maddie.
All right, so this one technically has 2 answers. Or 2 things. So what 2 items are you leaving the house with in a zombie apocalypse?
My wallet and keys.
What's the wallet for? Hold on. What's the wallet for?
I can't leave my house without my wallet and keys or I'll feel naked.
Why do you need it in the apocalypse?
It's just,
Currency is
The
dead.
rule.
it's just what's gonna happen. I know it's not a good answer.
You're still, I gotta go back for my wallet. You know that doesn't matter anymore.
Or
Right?
like, nah, I need my ID, bro, so I can get in.
I'm gonna say hairspray and a lighter.
All right.
I'm gonna say my 2 cats and a never-ending Slim Jim.
For the
Yeah.
cats, obviously.
We can share it. It never ends. Just kind of regenerates the more you eat it.
There you go.
All right, Josh, you're taking that one because yet again the most practical answer for self-defense.
Going for practicality here.
Some of them. It rotates. So now we're Josh, Maddie, Isaiah. You're running for president and need to choose a vice president. Which cartoon character are you choosing?
Ooh. Damn, that's a good one. Cartoon character. Oh my God. Zach, I think you broke me. Johnny Bravo.
Say Johnny Bravo. Fuck you. Damn it. Okay, fine. Danny Phantom.
I'm picking Bob from Bob the Burgers, bro. He's fucking working class man.
Yeah.
We all
None
know
of them
I'd have to drop
He's a
out after the
dilf, you
inevitable sexual assault scandal comes with Johnny Bravo. So
None of these people have political experience. I'm going with Bob. Isaiah, you
Bob's
got
Thank
that.
God. I was gonna
Absolutely.
say I don't know of any political cartoon characters like
Yeah,
other
like-
than like Stan from American Dad, and I definitely don't want to run with him.
Yeah. Johnny Bravo was a good answer though. That was a fun. So moving on, number 6, Maddie, Isaiah, Josh. Which movie character are you spilling your guts to drunk at the bar?
Oh, April Ludgate from Parks and Rec. I know it's not a movie, but her.
That's where movie TV shows will do that.
Okay.
Character.
April Ludgate.
Gwen from Into the Spider-Verse.
Can she drink?
No.
All right.
I'm gonna keep it consistent. Forrest Gump.
That's a good one, dude. That's a
You
good
can't
one.
use the
good
same
one.
answer twice.
Mm,
To be fair, the first
Recycling.
answer was a movie, and this is the character.
yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna go with Maddie's choice there.
Sick.
All right. Number 7, we're back to Isaiah. You're
Alright,
playing
me,
Mario
Josh,
Kart Double Dash and need a partner. Which cryptid or monster are you choosing as your partner?
I'm picking the Loveland Frog.
Fair.
Fucking Mothman.
I'll go with Waluigi. I don't know. I'm blanking, man.
Waluigi. That would be my favorite
Waluigi's
cryptid.
my
not?
favorite
Why not?
cryptid, bro.
That would be the scariest cryptid to come across.
Yeah. You don't know how tall he
He
is.
just
Yeah.
goes,
Italian
wow.
Yeah.
He's like a 10-foot being just going, man, like on top of your house in the middle of the night. It's horrifying.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Mothman
Isaiah
is
would-
actually Waluigi.
Yeah. Isaiah the Loveland Frog's taking that one.
Nice.
Because I don't think Mothman has hands.
That you know of.
That's
He
fair.
could.
But
I
he's
also
got-
He
know
rubs
that.
things with his antenna, you know?
He's got wings, bro.
Just grab things with it.
And then the last question I have here, Maddie, it is you starting. Which movie character, or really character in general, are you doing a cross-country car ride with?
Cross-country car ride with? Oh, God. You know what? I'm going to go with Groot. Groot.
Isaiah?
Isaiah? Yeah.
Seth Rogen's character from Pineapple Express.
I'm gonna go with Morgan Freeman playing God and Bruce Almighty.
Holy shit.
Oh, shit. Josh took that one. That one was
Yeah.
That's exponential for sure.
Yeah.
Groot can't compete with that.
Yeah. So let me tally up the score here. All right, we have a tie, so I have to do one additional one.
Is it a three-way tie or is it between two people?
I only asked 8 questions. Yes? No, there should be 9.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
You're the
there's a
one with the
three-way-
question.
I
Just
can't-
tell me who's just say who's in the
cannot
tie.
read or count. So.
No, I'm having a bad day. That was 9. It's a 3-way tie right now, so I have to come up
Oh,
with a
geez,
10th
okay.
question. I should have ended on an odd one, so where we couldn't have done this. But that is more bad planning on my part today.
It's fine. I didn't expect you to also do math this morning, bro.
Yeah. All right. So number 9, you get number 10, you get abducted by aliens, and they allow you to be dropped off wherever you want. Where are you choosing?
Who's going first?
Starting. Yeah.
Ooh. Just
it's-
say the answers.
Okay. I'm going Japan. I'm going Tokyo. Drop me off in Tokyo, bro.
I'm going to go with the sun, so I obliterate.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I forgot they're aliens. They can take me wherever I want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with that planet where the monsters are from Space Jam.
Oh, he's trying to be part of the Monstars, bro.
I think Maddie's taking it. The guest is taking the first ever
Nice.
lightning
Take me to
round.
the sun.
Hey.
Take me to the sun, bro.
Take me to the sun and burn me alive.
You got to use the aliens the most you can.
Yeah, fair
Yeah.
enough.
Damn, I
Good stuff.
biffed it on that one for sure. That was fun, Zach. I enjoyed lightning round for sure.
Maybe I'll do
Indeed.
some more of these.
All right. And the moment you've all been waiting for. Josh, it's time to let us know what it is we need to see in the theaters this year, this summer.
For sure. So, gonna add just a couple of things when we do it this year. We have 10 movies here, and for each movie, we're all going to score it whether we have no interest in watching the movie, we're undecided, we might go see the movie, or you definitely are planning on going to see the movie. So we'll say that for each one, and then I'll give each movie a score based on that, so that at the end of it, we'll rank and actually see which movie or movies are the most anticipated ones for the summer for us here on Hooligan Radio. So I'm going to go and, just date order here, starting with the first weekend in May and then going through. There's actually no August movies on the list, so it's going to go through the end of July. And I would just encourage anyone, if there are movies on here that you don't know anything about, obviously there should be trailers and whatever available if you want to go check those out. Pause the podcast for a second if you'd like, to see if it's something you want to see as well. So the first one's probably one of the biggest ones. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Bunch of trailers have come out for this one. I did not think this movie was going to be like as anticipated as, let's say, like Spider-Man or something like that. But the tickets came out last week. I waited one day to buy the tickets, and I had to change the show time and go later because the evening slot at the theater near me was already sold out on that one day a month ahead of time. So I guess
Oh,
it's
that makes
set
me
like a
nervous.
yeah, I guess it set like a pre-sale ticket record or of some kind. I don't know exactly what it did, but yeah, big Marvel movie. Obviously, sequel to Doctor Strange also has Wanda Scarlet Witch in there from coming off of her story from
Her.
WandaVision. And there's just a whole ton of different theories about what's going to be in this movie. It's being directed by Sam Raimi, who directed the original Spider-Man trilogy. So a lot going into this. Obviously, for me, I'm going to say off the bat, this is a 3 for me. I'm definitely going to go see this. I've already bought my tickets. Isaiah, we'll start with you, and then we'll go down the line. Are you planning on seeing Doctor Strange?
I'm gonna put in probably the only 2 on this one in because I've been saying I'm sworn off the Marvel movies. I only saw
Come
Spider-Man because
on.
of Tom and Zendaya. So
Oh my god.
I'm going to try to hold strong on this one, but I might end up seeing it. Is where I'm at.
Okay, and Maddy?
You made me nervous because I don't have my tickets yet. So now I'm actually looking up ticket times. I will be going because Wanda is incredible and I'm obsessed with her. So yes, I will be going.
Okay, and Zach?
I will also be going to that one. That one has a 3 for me.
Okay, yeah, and I'm sure that'll be one we'll talk about, on the podcast as well once the movie comes out and we've seen it and everything. So look forward to that. Then a few weeks later, there are 2 movies coming out on the last weekend of May. So we'll do both of these together. The first one is Top Gun Maverick. This is a reboot sequel to the original Top Gun with Tom Cruise from back in the day. This is a sequel where, of course, he's going to come back and do his thing, and then he's going to pass it on to, whoever the new actors are that are coming into the movie. So one of those deals. And then also the same day, Bob's Burgers, the movie, comes out.
Oh yeah.
I know nothing about this movie, plot-wise or anything. I love Bob's Burgers. When I first heard there was going to be a movie, I'm like, is this a fucking joke? Like, how are they going to make a movie of this show? But they
Art.
did somehow. So yeah, so both of those coming out the same weekend, 2 completely different movies, so we'll do them both at the same time. For me personally, I unfortunately don't have any interest in Top Gun Maverick. I haven't seen the original even. It's a big movie, I know, I gotta watch it, but I have not right now, so that's not one I'm planning to see in theaters. And then Bob's Burgers, the movie, I'm in the middle on. I'm going to give that one a 2. I love Bob's Burgers. I just don't know if I'm going to want to go out to the theater to watch a Bob's Burgers movie. Like, I feel like I could just watch that at home in 3 months and it'll be just as hilarious. So I'm going to give it 2 for that one. Maddie, what about you for both of these movies?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with you on the Top Gun thing. I don't care about Tom Cruise, never cared about Top Gun, so I will not be seeing that. Bob's Burgers, I know absolutely. I don't think they really said anything about the plot, at least not that I've seen. But I'll probably go. I'm a big fan of the show. I usually watch it when it comes on Hulu, so I'll most likely go to that one.
All right, Zach?
God, Top Gun's not having a good day. I'm also giving that a 1. I
Sorry,
also
Tom
haven't
Cruise.
Yeah, I also haven't seen the original, so maybe you can give it a -1 if we really want to. But I will give Bob Burgers a 3. Alyssa and I love the Bob Burger series. We actually just saw the trailer for it
Oh,
yesterday.
okay.
And it
There is a trailer now.
it
Okay.
did a little bit of a plot, which is essentially what it is every single episode, which is they just don't want to close and they want to make their rent, from my understanding.
Hell yeah.
But it's a movie,
Just a
so
longer version.
yeah. But I want to
Take my
see it.
money now. Yeah.
Absolutely. I was the one that went and saw the Simpsons movie when it came into this theaters, so I will definitely be splurging and spending the money to also do that with Bob's.
And Isaiah?
Yeah, I'm sticking with the trend. 1 on Top Gun. I have never watched it, never been really interested, like Maddie said.
Yeah.
And Bob's Burger, got to get that a 3. Got to support my running mate and my potential
I was
running
gonna say, you
mate.
can't let him
I
down.
can't let him down. I think that this would be one of those movies that would be crazy to see, like opening weekend, see all the, the Bob's Burgers people
Oh, everyone's
dressed up
dressed
as.
up.
Yeah.
Dressing up,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
that'd
that's
be
a great
cool.
idea.
In Top Gun scenario, is that supposed to be a sought after movie, or are we just not the demographic?
I just think we're probably not the main demographic. I guarantee
Yeah.
it'll make money with it'll do well with the Gen
made how
Xers
many?
and yeah. So I mean, My mom really loves it, so that's where I'll leave it. So,
That's fair.
up next, we're going into June. A lot of big movies come out in June. The first one, Jurassic World Dominion. This is the third Jurassic World movie, sixth overall Jurassic Park movie. This is the end of this trilogy, and this is combining the cast of Jurassic World, Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, with the original cast that from the Jurassic Park franchise, and they're all coming together for this last one. In the last film, the dinosaurs escaped the island and are now on the mainland in at least America. I don't know if they're around the whole world, but that is going to be the main plot of this movie, is now dealing with that for the first time. The dinosaurs actually being here where we live, being the main driving force of this. There's of course been a ton of promotion about it, and it's finally coming out this summer. For me personally, I'll definitely be watching this one in the theater. I enjoyed the first Jurassic World. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, I did not like at all. But look, they can make 10 of these. It's dinosaurs. I'm going to go see it in the theater. Like, it's one of the few things that there is an advantage to seeing it in a theater instead of at home. So just based on that, I'm
Fair.
definitely going to be seeing it. Zach, what about you?
It's going to be a 2 for me. I tell myself every single time that I'm going to go see one of these movies, and I just never do. And at least I'm not going to put myself out there and say I'm going to go see it by a 3. I've only seen the first one, and I really liked it. I haven't seen the second one off of Josh's reviews, actually, of when it came out. I was like, I'll just see whenever it comes on TV, and just
That's fair.
haven't caught it. So I'll maybe give this one an attempt if it we remember it, but it's not going to be at least sought after.
Yeah. Isaiah, I'll go to you next, but I just want to say it's crazy that we've gotten to this point on the podcast where the last film came out 4 years ago, and I talked about it on this podcast. that's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Isaiah, what about you?
I'm a 1. I'm not a Jurassic Park fan. Never really have been. So sit this one out. I'll hear about it from you guys.
All right, and Maddie?
You know, Nick really loves Jurassic Park, so I'll probably go see it, but I'm gonna go solely for Daddy Goldblum.
I saw that he was in the trailer that I saw whenever I
Oh
went,
yeah.
and I was like, maybe.
I have a shower curtain with Jeff Goldblum on it. You best believe I'm gonna be in it.
Absolutely. And then just the following week, right after that, so I mean, it's Jurassic World. You assume it's going to make a ton of money, but week right after, that doesn't scare Disney because they are releasing Lightyear, starring Chris Evans playing Buzz Lightyear, the film that is essentially the actual character of Buzz Lightyear that the toy in Toy Story would then be based off of. That's the levels we're getting to here. So, the trailer did come out. I think it looks nice. It's a Pixar movie, so I mean, of course, it's going to look really good. Little fun fact: this is actually the first time a Pixar movie is coming out in theaters in a number of years. For whatever reason, throughout this whole pandemic, Disney has still been releasing all of their animated movies into theaters, like Encanto and such. But all of their Pixar movies, Soul, Turning Red, have all been going straight to Disney Plus, and no one really knows why. But of course, with Buzz Lightyear, you know, they're going to put it in theaters. So this one's going to theaters. I might see it. I'm undecided as of right now. I forget where we were in the order.
I think Maddie starts.
I think Isaiah or Maddie
is
this time. Okay, Maddie, what about you?
I'll give it a 2. I feel like going back to like they're probably putting it in theaters just because they probably expect this one to make the most money off of like the other Pixar movies that just came out. But like, so they don't really want to miss that like they did with Black Widow. But I don't really care about Buzz. I'll go if like I hear good things after it comes out, but will I be there opening night? No, absolutely not.
I get
Okay,
that.
Zach.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this one a 1. I have a hard time seeing movies where you have to stretch the plot to understand it, where you just
Yeah.
had to say this is the story based, the lore behind the toy of Toy Story. I'm like, all right, we're about 2 universes too deep for me to care at this point.
I agree with that. It could be good.
It could be. I
But,
mean, it's
like-
a Pixar, so it's gonna look great, and it's probably gonna
Right.
be a good movie overall. But I just don't know if I want to see it. Essentially,
Right.
Isaiah.
If I'm gonna end up accidentally watching this on Disney Plus. Does that put me at a 1 or a 2? Because I don't
That would be a
necessarily.
one.
2. I
Okay.
don't know. I would say a 2.
Oh, you see it too?
Say
Okay,
2,
okay, that's
yeah.
2's might watch.
fine.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
You got it in there.
I just know that currently Rin is into Toy Story, so she might be interested in whenever she sees a
Might
Toy
have to.
Story character on the Disney Plus screen and getting that selected and in front of me. So I think it's a 1 just because I'd be watching it by happenstance, not by like an eventual choice made by me. So
Does this mean they're making like a Woody movie too? Or
fucking
is
hope
it just
not.
Buzz?
if this pops off, we're getting a
God.
a Pixar Western, bro, that
They're gonna
stars
have one
Woody.
of every single toy. This is what they just unearthed.
Why?
Bro, but the T-Rex movie will be sweet.
That'd be
Right,
chaotic.
yeah.
Yeah. The
one I
worst
would
is going to be
see.
when they're like light year 3 or 4, and you're like, okay, this is not even Toy Story anymore. Where are we at?
Dude, the Toy Story cinematic universe.
Dude,
I
or if
mean,
they
Buzz
tried,
Lightyear had the
Toy
animated
Story
series for
Multiverse
a
of
while.
Madness.
yeah.
God, I would.
If they try to do like a cringe, like he meets the real Woody in the movie, I'm sorry, I can't do it.
We're in too
Okay.
deep.
The next week, there is a biopic of Elvis releasing. The film is starring Austin Butler, who is playing the role of Elvis. Tom Hanks is also in the film. And that's, I mean, really all you need to know. It's a movie about Elvis. So if you're a fan of Elvis, you'll probably like this movie or want to go see it. I personally, I'm not a huge biopic person unless it's someone I'm really interested in. Elvis isn't one of those people. So it's going to be a 1 for me. I'm probably not going to be going to see it. Isaiah, what about you?
Probably a 1 for me. The only other biopic I guess I've seen was the one about Motley Crue. Was that a biopic or
The
was that?
Dirty? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only older one I've seen. While it might be interesting for Elvis, it's gonna take multiple people being like, "You gotta fucking see that shit" for me to actually see it. Because I mean, I live in Music City. I see enough Elvis people in my whole.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Maddie, what about you?
I'm gonna give it a 2. I used to really love Elvis as a kid, so I'm kind of intrigued, but
Yeah,
again, not
Zach,
opening
who knows?
weekend. Maybe I'll rent it when it comes out.
For sure. Zach, what about you?
I'll probably give it a 1, unfortunately. Not a big sort of like that docu-series or movie
Mm-hmm.
sort of genre either. Might catch it if it ever comes on like FX or something like that. Sort of like how they always show the Queens one. I can't remember the name of it now.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, that movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think I'll at least be seeing it in theaters.
All right. Well, next one definitely big one. July 1st, the return of Minions. You guys remember when it took like 7 years for Minions to not just be everywhere and everywhere you went? Well, they're back.
The last I knew peace. That was the last time I felt happiness.
So Minions: The Rise of Gru is coming out July 1st, and I'm not going to be seeing this. But Isaiah, I know you're with child. Is this something you guys might see?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Well-
I'm gonna try to avoid it if I can play any of my cards in my hand to
Respectfully
empower
so.
myself. Yeah, I'm going 1 on this as well.
All right. Maddie, what about you?
-17. The Minions owe me points. No, I will not watch it on accident. I will not watch it.
All right. And Zach?
I'm gonna give it a 2. I'm gonna be realistic. And say that it might be
realistic.
We're over here shitting on it, and Zach's like, "Oh, maybe."
Zach's
you
like,
know what,
I'm
it might-
definitely seeing it.
Like I'm sitting here, I'm like, all right, it's July 1st. Like that's like summertime, holiday weekend, stuff like that. It might be with nephews and nieces, go see it and stuff. So let's give it a 2. I'll be optimistic.
Okay,
Fuck
fair
you.
enough.
I'm sitting there alone.
I mean, hey, we at least
Nobody
know
turn the
we're-
lights off for you. It's just
Yeah.
you in the theater.
Yeah.
I'm here.
At least we know as long as the Minions keep making movies, Pharrell will still have a job making their
Absolutely.
soundtracks.
Very
True,
true. True. Good point.
The following week, July 8th, the second Marvel movie of the summer, Thor: Love and Thunder. This one is also being directed by Taika Waititi, who directed the last Thor movie, Thor Ragnarok. And then also returning to the franchise is Natalie Portman, who was in the first couple of Thor movies, is coming back and is going to also apparently be taking on a version of a female Thor from the comics as well. So a lot going on in this movie. The only weird thing about it is that very unlike Marvel, very unlike a big blockbuster movie, it's only 3 months away at this point, and there are 0 trailers or promotional material out for the movie. So it's
I didn't know it was
very
coming
odd.
out.
Yeah,
I didn't even know.
exactly.
I thought it was
Top
coming out like
secret.
next year. I didn't know it was coming out this soon.
Exactly. So some people are saying maybe it'll get pushed, but the problem with that is in the MCU, you can't just push one movie. If you push one, you have to push like 17. So
Mhm.
it's kind of an issue. I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe the trailer will come out by the time this episode is uploaded, but as of right now, it is not released. So there's not really much about it other than, the cast and crew that we know are involved. To me, it doesn't matter. I'm obviously going to be seeing it anyway. There could be no trailer ever, and I would still go see it, at this point. So I love Thor Ragnarok. Looking forward to this one. Maddie, what about
Mhm.
you?
I'm with you. Thor Ragnarok's like the best MCU movie besides Civil War to me. So yeah, I'll absolutely be there. 3.
All right, and Zach?
Also giving this one a 3. It's going to be hard not to go see this one in theaters.
And
I
Isaiah.
know for a fact I will not be seeing this. I'm throwing down a 1 on this bad boy.
Oh,
Oh.
Darn it.
All right, fair enough. Okay. Second movie for July. This is probably the one I'm most excited for all summer. July 22nd, Jordan Peele is releasing his next film titled Nope. This one's starring Keke Palmer and also Daniel Kaluuya coming back. The star from Get Out is starring in this one as well. This is a horror movie. The trailer is out. I think it's one of the best trailers in a long time. No surprise. All of Jordan Peele's trailers have been excellent too. And this one is an alien movie. So Jordan Peele is going to stay in the horror genre this time, taking on a take on aliens. And I'm very excited for this one. So definitely a 3 for me. Zach, you're the creepy guy, so I'll throw it over to you first. Have you seen anything
Oh,
about Nope, and are you going to go
absolutely.
see it?
Absolutely going to see Nope. It looks fantastic. Anything he honestly does, Keenan Peele does, has just been fantastic. Uh, so just seeing his name there, I would give it a 2. But with the UFO aspect of it, with the supporting cast that they has around it, it's definitely a 3.
All right, Isaiah.
I'm giving this one a 3. I've missed the last Peel films in theaters, and I've regretted it.
Okay,
I'm
well,
gonna have to
we
go.
all
We
saw
went
us
and saw it.
together.
Yeah. Wasn't that the
Yeah,
last one?
but I don't remember it, bro. It was a long
Damn.
time ago.
It was.
But yeah, I gotta go check this one out. I know that it's gonna be a big talking point on this podcast, so that's a 3 for me.
And Maddie?
I'm gonna say 1 because I have not seen Get Out or Us yet.
Wow.
So I keep telling myself I have to, and I just haven't done it.
Wow, I thought that was gonna be our
So
first 12 out of all of the
I'm
first 12
sorry.
pointer. And
I'm
Maddie,
sorry.
shut
Maybe
us
you'll
down.
change my mind. I'm sorry.
Yeah, all I'll really say is, I mean,
Yeah.
I
Us
heard
is,
they're great, but I just haven't
yeah.
gotten around to it.
I would say Us is fine. It was good, but I definitely say, yeah, Get Out is one I would definitely recommend. It's become kind of one of those movies at this point where it's like, you didn't see Get Out? Everyone like freaks out
I
about
know.
Yeah, you like turn the corner in the other room because you hear it. You haven't seen it?
it.
I know. That's usually the reaction I get.
Yeah.
Sorry. No one. I'm one of those people who's like, if it's been a while, you have to physically sit me down. If it's
Mhm.
something
We're
like
going to do this.
very hyped, right? Like if it's something like very hyped like that, you have to
Mhm.
physically sit me down and like force me to watch it because I will not do it.
Be
like,
like, hey Maddie, we're gonna hang out and we're gonna do this, and you're like, we have
Nah.
to.
I'll be like, nah.
Yeah, and
We
then-
got to do
and
like
then
an
it gets-
intervention type moment where you
completely
get all your
yeah.
friends together, like, we're gonna watch Get Out, and you're like, fine.
Yeah.
Probably the
And then
only
it-
way I end up seeing it.
Yeah.
It gets to the point where you go so long that it's almost then you don't want to see it because it's like now the hype is so high. I felt like that for a long time about Ghostbusters. Like I didn't see
Mhm.
Ghostbusters growing up, and everyone was like, "Oh, you gotta see Ghostbusters." Then like my wife, when I met her, it's like she doesn't even really like that many movies, but she loves Ghostbusters, and it's like I don't even want to watch it at this point because I feel like if I any less than like it being
If
my
it wasn't
favorite movie.
perfect, yeah.
Yeah. So with that being said, though, it's excellent. Ghostbusters is, and so is Get Out. So I recommend. Okay.
Which one's better? Will you say on the air?
Yeah.
Get Out's better.
Uh,
Damn, bro.
But they're completely talking about two different movies, though.
That's fair.
Okay, so last movie on the list. So this one is definitely a little bit lesser known. I think there's not a lot of hype about this one, but I saw the trailer for this one when I went to go see Morbius, and I was like, "What the hell is this? It looks awesome!" It's called Bullet Train. Comes out at the end of July. It stars Brad Pitt, and there's a whole bunch of different people in this movie. One of them that I'm really excited for, a couple of them. Aaron Taylor Johnson is in the movie. He's the actor who played Kick-Ass, most notably, but he's been in a number of things. And then also Brian Tyree Henry, who was in Eternals last year, is in this movie. Zazie Beetz is in this movie. It's just like a really good cast. And it's directed by the director of Deadpool 2. It's an action thriller movie where basically, from what I can gather from the trailer, it's a whole bunch of assassins who are on a fast-moving train in Tokyo, and they discover that they all have essentially the same mission of having to get this briefcase. So they're all attempting to kill each other while on this train. And so it's kind of John Wick-ish in a way, but it just looks very awesome and visually reminded me of like Blade Runner. It's just a really good trailer, so I would recommend checking it out. It's definitely going to be a 3 for me. It's quickly become a movie I'm really excited for. But obviously, for you guys, if you haven't seen the trailer, you're only basing it on that description or a quick Google search. So, Isaiah, I'll start with you. Does that interest you at all?
Out of all of the trailers I saw when I went and saw the Jujutsu Kaisen Zero movie, this was one that stood out other than reaching out to you guys about the multiverse movie from A24. So I put this as a 2. I might see it depending on, I mean, hopefully I have people to see it with at that time. But I probably won't see it by myself.
Okay. Zach, what about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a solid 2 as well. It's not a movie that, like you sort of mentioned, has had a lot of publicity so far. The only reason why we heard of it was a friend went to Mobius and was just like, oddly, this was the best part of the movie was this trailer, which got us to looking into it.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Or
So-
Jared Leto.
Yeah. But I think it's a 2. I like the how you just explained it as being like a John Wick sort of vibe is really good, and seems to have like that comedic sense to it, especially with the cast and from what you can tell from the trailer. So I'm it's definitely like a 50-50 shot, so I'm gonna give it a 2.
All right, and Maddie?
I'm gonna say 2 as well. I'm
Alright.
not really familiar with it at all, but like it sounds interesting.
There's a lot of action.
All right, well, that is the end of the list. So, just going back over it as a recap, movies that scored less than 6 points, movies that none of us are really that interested in, are Top Gun Maverick and Elvis, as well as Minions: The Rise of Gru. So, don't think any of us are planning on seeing those movies for the most part. Somewhat interested would be Lightyear, this film we just talked about, Bullet Train, as well as Jurassic World Dominion. And then the movies that we're, at least some of us, if not all of us, are really excited for: Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Bob's Burgers, the movie, Thor: Love and Thunder, and Nope. So that's kind of the summer laid out for everybody. I think this is, last year there were definitely some movies that came out in the summer, but it was still a very slow process of theaters opening back up. And there was that COVID spike in the middle of the summer last year, so a lot of people didn't go see movies. Some got pushed back. So hopefully, if things remain to get better, these movies all will be able to come out, and it'll be like the first summer of kind of being back to normal when it comes to the theaters. But it's definitely not one of the strongest lineups ever. Like I said, there's not even any movies in here until August, or in August, and technically the summer season goes until Labor Day, but there's just not that many movies, unfortunately, yet still coming out, all clustered in the summer. So overall, I am excited for the summer. Any last thoughts from anybody on, any other movies that are coming out either in the summer or even later on this year?
I think we'll break Isaiah into seeing some Marvel movies.
Yeah, probably.
Get you there eventually.
I wasn't going to see Spider-Man, and they broke me on that one. So it's more than likely I'll see Doctor Strange and won't see Thor, but I'll compromise.
We'll see.
We'll see.
You just have to get a rumor that
see when
maybe
we get there.
Spider-Man's in it, and then you'll be like, all right.
I'm like, wait, Spider-Man? Nah, because after hearing the reviews of Morbius during See It, Play It, Skip It during the break, like, I'm not taking the bait.
Fair.
I
Well,
still
supposedly
might
it's not
go,
even-
honestly.
Yeah.
So I do want to just point out, me and Squinter in the chat, what if Zach said 1 for Thor but 2 for Minions? I think there would have been
It'd been a fight.
Little
It would have been a
bit of a
true
quite a
fight.
conversation, for sure. All right, Isaiah, that's it for my main topic.
Awesome, you guys. Well, wanted to say thank you to Maddy. Thank you for being a guest. It's been a long time coming. We talked about this at the beginning of the year, I think.
Yeah.
Thanks
Yeah.
for joining us. Is there anything that you want to plug before we say goodbye?
Like my Instagram or
Sure.
like
Yeah.
anything, or sure, it's just
Anyway.
Maddy Satana, Maddy with a Y, all one word.
Yeah, go check her out on Instagram. She's got the looks. I'll tell you for a fact. She's an Instagram star. And you can catch her at emo night. That's where I met her,
do.
and it was
I DJ
goating.
emo night. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thanks again, Maddie, and I'll see you
Anytime.
later.
Thanks.
All right.
Adios.
Thanks, Maddie. We're in the break now, so
Cool.
you can drop whenever you want. We're going into Q&A. If anybody has any questions for Maddie, you can drop them. But if not, Maddie, thanks for joining us again.
Yes, thank you very much.
Of course. But of course.
I think you're in like the top
Lovely to be
3 girls that have ever been on the podcast. So
Have there only been 3 or
there's
Has
only
there been
I
three?
think
Don't put
there's
that.
been
Don't
4.
Don't put that. Don't put that limit on our top 3 guests, man. Just top 3 guests.
I think there's
Don't
only
make
been
us
4
count
girls
that.
ever. So, yeah, top 3 guests for sure. You definitely got your. We have guests who don't necessarily elbow their way through us just talking over each other. So I'm happy that you got in there and you're like, "Oh, it's my time. I'm going to talk." And we're like, "Thanks."
Yeah, you gotta do
you
that.
know I don't shut
Yeah.
up. Like I do the same thing
It's the
on the
best.
air. I do a radio show and I'm just like, y'all want to hear this story? Nope, here it goes. To my
Love it.
3 listeners.
It takes a certain kind of person to elbow their way into our conversation for sure.
Oh, that's the only reason this podcast works. If one of us didn't do that, then we wouldn't talk the whole time. So
That's
we have
true.
to-
We'd all just look at each other. It'd be the most awkward podcast of all